Hey, hello, Java Challenger. I'm very happy that I'm here again to help you in your career. Uh, and I'm not sure if my screen here is working properly. Probably it's not. It seems it's frozen. Uh, Let me see here if I can fix that. A moment. Okay, so if you are here in the on the video, just say hi and send me your questions. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer you. So you can tell me, okay, hello, someone. Yeah, let me try moving my mouse here. I move my mouse. Is it moving or not? No, I don't think so, right? So, okay, I'll just hide. Uh, yeah, it's not moving. So let me run a test here. Okay, just a moment. Okay, now I think it's working. Okay. Yeah, those things usually happen when you are presenting live. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll figure out. So the screen is gonna be a little bit smaller, but it's okay. I'll just okay. It's moving. Yeah, let's go like that. It's okay. So today I'm gonna be talking about the 6 obstacles that prevent you from being promoted as a Java developer. So there are lots of points here that I want to cover, and please let me know if you've been trying to get promoted in your job, uh, and what are the challenges you're going through in your career, because then I can answer any questions you have right away. So I have to uh, keep in mind that to get promoted, it's not only technical skills that will help you to get there. So you need to also improve your soft skills. And when I mean soft skills, I mean your communication skills, uh, your ability to get visibility to other developers and to management and other stakeholders. And it's also your ability to negotiate. So there are lots of other soft skills that are very important. And if you neglect them, it's going to be very difficult to get a promotion because on technical skills, it's difficult that your manager will reach out to you and all of a sudden they will tell you, hey, you are promoted. This happens, but it's rare. So it's much better if you develop some crucial soft skills. Okay, so let's talk about uh, this point here of lack of visibility. So on this one, doesn't mean that you have to, you know, uh, brag about your work, but it's important that you know how to communicate your work. And how can you do that? You can do that by communicating clearly, not assuming everyone knows about your work because they don't. If you don't communicate clearly what you're doing, probably won't know, people won't know what you're doing, and you might be judged that you're not doing good work. So on your daily meetings, try to be as clear as possible in your communication. And when you're trying to do something to solve the problem, explain clearly what actions are you taking. Because if you communicate in a way that's confusing, people will start thinking that you're not capable of doing your job. So be careful with that. Don't hide your work. If you're going through any obstacles during uh, your work, be clear, communicate concisely. Don't over communicate. Just communicate the essential so that you get um, so that other people can understand you. And if you are in a meeting and if you know something useful, speak up. Make an effort to speak up. And if you are in a high level meeting and you can't really contribute much, at least take notes. Take notes, maybe create a wiki page with the main notes of the meeting or the highlights, because then this will help everyone to keep a track record of what is going on in the meetings. And whenever you see that a key project is uh, about to show up, volunteer yourself to work on these key projects, because if you are working on them, it's much easier to get promoted, right? If you're working on a project that nobody cares, that the company might even cancel, then you are in a low priority to be promoted, right? So it's better that you're working on key projects and that you know about the business of those key projects, because then it's a lot easier for you to get promoted. If you're not working, so if you are an intermediate developer or even a senior developer, be humble to accept feedback from others, and so that you know where you can improve. Because if you're always working on your own and you have no idea what you have to improve, then it's a problem because you will be stuck. And whenever you ask for a promotion, whenever you have this conversation with your manager to be promoted, then it's going to be hard that you're going to get promoted. So in most companies, you have to develop kind of a plan with your manager and tell your manager um, to guess what you want. Uh, be upfront with your manager and tell your manager what you want, your career. And if you can, specialize on something that nobody likes, that gives you an extra advantage. So for example, if you're working um, on a project where people hate legacy project, it could be an advantage point if you get this legacy code and if you are the one who will refactor this code, right? But it's just an example. It could be another thing. It could be like that you are the test guy, that you're going to create tests that will enhance the quality of the software. And it could be anything that people are not willing to put a lot of work on that. But if you are the one who puts a lot of work on those specific things that nobody likes, you're gonna stand out a lot more quickly. And so if you feel that you need to develop your skills, you can take courses, but here just be careful to not just watch courses, because you need to take action. So if you're learning any technology like container, or if you're learning how to deploy your Java application in the cloud, you need to do the thing, right? Don't just watch the course, because that won't help you to acquire a skill. It's much better to understand the concepts of the course, and then you implement the project, and you make mistakes, you make the code break, and you learn it on your own. And taking mentorships is also great, because a mentorship is different. In a mentorship, you're gonna talk with your mentor, and your mentor will guide you to your career goals. So it's not like a course. In a course,
you are just watching something passively, obviously I recommend you to take action and create your project. But in a mentorship, it's a conversation with someone who is more experienced than you, or someone who got what you want, and this person will guide you to get you to your career goals more quickly. Therefore, you're going to be saving a lot of time and money, because if the mentorship helps you to get a significant raise in your salary, it's a permanent change, it's a permanent growth in your salary. And you save a lot of time, you save a lot of headache as well, because think about it, we spend like 8 hours a day from Monday to Friday in our jobs. It's a lot of time. It's basically most is like it's where we spend the most of our time, right? So our career is a very important part of our lives. So it's not only like more money that you're gonna have, but it's more knowledge, it's more confidence, it's it's a huge boost in your career. So highly recommended. It's definitely worth it. And also attend conferences. That's a great. It's great to go to conferences because you meet developers, and you're gonna see lots of developers who are motivated. You're gonna see developers who are better than you, and then you talk to them and you say, "Hey, this developer is doing so much. I need to do more as well in my career." So that's gonna be your thoughts, and you're gonna be thinking about doing more as well. So when you go to conferences, it's great because you see lots of possibilities, lots of technologies you can use in your job. You're gonna expand your mind, right? So that's great. Every time you go to a conference, uh, you're gonna notice a technology that you can use in your job, and then you bring this knowledge to your job, and that will definitely help you to get promoted. Because like sometimes in your job, in your project, there might be issues with bugs, and then you see a very cool technology in this conference, and then you bring to the team this technology, and you tell everyone, and then you share knowledge with them if possible. And by doing that, you're going to be creating value, and you're going to stand out from others. So another, well, limited soft skills, as I said, is something that will definitely complicate things for you to get promoted. So if you don't communicate clearly, like I said, people will think that you're not doing your job properly, and it's going to be difficult to ask for a promotion that way, right? Another skill that's very important is leadership. So one thing that's is crucial is to develop emotional intelligence. So basically understand what are your strengths and your weaknesses. So for example, if you're good to listen people and you don't like to talk very much, but you observe people, you understand what's going on. So you have empathy. Empathy is very important. There are people who don't have empathy. So like to have this emotional intelligence is to also understand what are your feelings. So for example, if you are stuck in a task for a long time and you don't know what to do, and if you're frustrated, so emotional intelligence also helps you to handle those bad emotions, right? So it's like getting to know yourself better so that you don't react emotionally to other people in your job. Because, for example, if you are rude to a coworker of yours, this will damage your team relationship, and that will also make things more difficult for you to get a promotion. Or if you're rude to your manager, that's even worse because your manager is usually the one who will decide if they will promote you or not. So like emotional intelligence is very important because then you can be grounded, you can, stay cool, and for example, be able to take feedback. Taking feedback is also not easy. You need to control your ego because we don't like to be criticized naturally, but we have to overcome this ego barrier and take the feedback and understand what we can improve, because all of those skills are you can improve. It's not things that a person is born with. Those are skills that you can improve. That's why it's called soft skills, right? So, and learn how to delegate. So if you have tasks to that that a colleague of yours is good uh, to work with, learn how to delegate. Don't order people. People don't like that, but ask kindly if they could help you to solve those issues, and also mentor other developers. So if you have a junior developer in your team or an intermediate developer, supposing you are a senior developer, mentor them, help them. Why? Because it's not only the junior developer who will get benefits from that, it's also you. So why? Because when you share your knowledge, you're filling out the gaps from your knowledge. So even if you are explaining something basic, sometimes you don't know that basic concept well enough to explain. So, for example, I know many senior developers who use polymorphism, but they don't really know how to explain that. And if a junior developer asks you what's polymorphism or why you would use polymorphism, explaining that to the junior developer is great for you because you also improve your communication skills. So do that, mentor junior developers, mentor less experienced developers than you. And another skill that the companies value a lot is problem solving skills. And this takes some time until you learn more about that. But one way to get better at problem solving is to learn continuously. So you never stop learning, and preferably learn fundamentals. I know it's more difficult, but it's worth it because the more you learn fundamentals, the more quickly you learn any other subject and understand the problem deeply, right? So if you get a bug in production, try to understand what's going on. Maybe read the production database, understand how your application is running in production, understand what's going on in the big picture so that you identify where is the bug. Also understand and clarify requirements. So how can you do that? You can talk with business. You can talk to the business owners, and you can understand the big picture of the business. That will help you. And also keep in mind that learning about the business is going to take time. So you have to be consistent in the learning. So you have to be consistent talking to business owners, and you have to be consistent also learning wiki. So I suppose you have a wiki page in the company you are working for. So get this wiki page and read it consistently, at least a few minutes a day, because the business knowledge is a knowledge that no one from the outside will be able to acquire. So that gives you a lot of advantage, and it also helps you to solve problems more quickly, because the more you know about the business, the more you know about the bug that happened in production. Because if you understand the business, if you understand what the application is supposed to do, then you are in control. Then you know, you understand the code better, you understand everything, you understand the big picture better as well. And for example, if you get a very complicated story, break it down. Learn this ability of breaking the problem. So you are able to solve a very complex problem by breaking it down. So, if they give you a microservice that is very complicated, you get this microservice, you write it down, you plan it, and you break it down so that you know approximately how much time you're going to take to finish this microservice. And this will also help you in your communication, because if someone gives you a huge microservice to finish and you don't have stories, you don't have tasks, you don't have anything, it's going to be very difficult to communicate your progress. And then even if you're doing an amazing job and you are nailing in this to solve this problem and create the microservice, nobody will care, because if you're not communicating it clearly. So it's better if you get this complex problem, you understand this problem, you break it down, create stories, organize everything, so that you gain an advantage when you're communicating about your work progress. Because if your work is too abstract, guess what? People will think that you're not performing good enough. So that's why I say that communication is essential. If you're not able to communicate what you're doing, people will think that you're not doing anything. Don't assume people know what you're doing, because they don't. If you don't communicate clearly, it's like doing no work, and then this will damage your chances of getting promoted. So be careful with that. Study other solutions. So if someone in your team did a very good solution, they used very nice design patterns, or they used a microservice architecture pattern, understand that, talk to them. If possible, have a lunch with them, and have a conversation, discuss about the problem, understand what happened, because that will help you for your technical growth and your professional growth as well. And keep up with industry trends. I know that nowadays AI is crazy, AI is everywhere. At the same time, you have to keep up with those industry trends. You can't put a lot of your time on that as well. So you have to kind of balance. I would allocate maybe 10% of my time on AI, instead of, going all in, studying AI, and they won't ask you about AI in most interviews. They're gonna be asking you a lot more about algorithms and system design. So you need to balance what you're going to study, what you're going to learn. Practice regularly. So code challenges are very important nowadays, because like I said, most companies are doing interviews with code challenges, big annotations, data structures, and all of those things. And it's also important that you have a personal project. It doesn't need to be something profitable, but at least a pet project, something that you can test a new technology, something that you have a lot of control. You can break the code, you can do whatever you want, and this will help you to learn a lot better, because in your job, yes, you can make mistakes, but it's more complicated, right? In your personal computer, you can break the code, you can do whatever you want. That will help you to really learn new technologies or new concepts. Critical thinking is another very important skill. And critical thinking is a lot about having the engineering mindset. So like question assumptions. So if someone assume something, you can question this assumption, so that you can have a high level discussion and really maybe figure out if this assumption is true or not. Gather information. So where you can do that, you can get the wiki, you can search information on wiki, or you can ask people. So there are many ways to gather information. Then you analyze and evaluate information. So maybe you get those huge documentations, and you have to figure out how to solve that problem. And that's kind of a skill, because when you get a huge documentation, usually you don't need to read the whole thing. Sometimes only talking to a key person, this key person will tell you straight away like what you need to read in that document. A person might guide you to solve this problem more quickly. And engaging in discussions and debates will help you to develop this critical thinking. And questioning people, I think that's a very good approach, because sometimes someone will propose a solution that maybe doesn't make much sense. And sometimes it's useful to ask why. Because if you don't, it might be that a solution that is not very optimized will be implemented, and then everyone will lose. Okay, so we have a question here from Suman. When you say about AI, could you please explain what you mean? Do you mean we need to use LLMs like OpenAI, DeepSeek? So yeah, for now, Suman, I would recommend you to, instead of studying how to create AI or how to create LLM, I would recommend developers to use AI. Yeah, using tools is okay. Like that will make you a lot more productive. Like DeepSeek, Copilot, whatever, the LLM tool, you're gonna be fine. Yeah, I highly recommend everyone to use AI. So every technology you have in your power, use it, because it's powerful. AI is extremely powerful, so definitely it's something to use. So embrace continuous learning, never stop learning, maintain clean code, please, it's very important. Understand the basic principles of solid, read the book Clean Code, or maybe Effective Java. This is a very good book. It will help you to create better code. And sometimes you can even ask AI to create better code. You get a messed up code and say, hey, AI, improve this code using the best practices, implementing solid, whatever. You can ask to create a design pattern, whatever you want, but make sure you write that you communicate well in your code. So create methods with names that are clear and simple, and the same thing for classes. Break down your classes so that they are easily reusable. Make them clear and use the concepts, the appropriate concepts to solve, the right problem. So if you want to sort any kind of data in a list, just use the collections.sort method. Use the Java API to do those things. And embrace failure as a learning tool, because if you have a pet project and you make many mistakes, you make your code break and not compile, you embrace this process to really learn. And the more you make your code break, the more you're gonna learn, right? And also take breaks to not burn out. So from time to time, take breaks. So it's very common, right? I bet that many times as a developer, you were trying to solve a very complicated problem, but then you couldn't, and then you sleep, and in the following day in the morning, you have the solution in your mind. This happened to me so many times, and it still happens. So take breaks, don't burn out, and once you develop some kind of consistency on your studying and learning, it's important to network with people, right? So when you go to conferences, talk with the speakers, understand what they are doing, understand if you can help them with something. Um, you know, you it's very important to do networking, but like when you do networking, you need to show what you're doing. You need to show what is the value you can bring to the table, because if you don't create the impression to the other person that you are a good professional, that you are a good Java developer, then it's difficult that they will even think to, maybe call you for a project, or call you to um, maybe to recommend you to their companies. So you need to pass a good impression. So how can you do that? Well, firstly, you can listen more to their problems, and you can also, position yourself as a good Java developer, as a developer who cares about code quality, who is interested in improving, a developer who is curious, a developer who thinks like a software engineer, a developer who is a good problem solver. So all of those things count a lot. So another thing that will impact your for you to get promoted is lack of initiative. So when you lack initiative, you might be seen as that developer who doesn't care, and that's not good. So and you need to, there are some strategies to cultivate initiative, which is to define clear goals, right? So, and it's important that you talk with your manager. Be upfront with your manager. Say, hey, manager, I want to become a senior developer, or I want to be a principal software developer. Let's create a strategy so that I can get there. And then you can even ask your manager to mentor you and to guide you in this road so that you know what to do. Otherwise, you'll be lost, and like you can't ask for promotion all of a sudden. It has to be a process. So you have to work with your manager to get to the next level. You have to understand um, how things work, and you have to define clear goals there. So, and the other obstacle is poor performance reviews. So if you have a poor performance review, obviously your morale and motivation will be impacted, and it's going to be harder as well that your colleagues or coworkers will trust or rely on you, and it will damage your reputation as well. So it's going to be a little bit harder to get a promotion, definitely. So, and guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. But there is a way to counterattack poor performance reviews, which is to basically to be humble and acknowledge and reflect what you can do to improve. So you can develop a plan for improvement with your manager. You can seek feedback, and again, you have to be humble. You can't, take it personally, because it's business. You are there to provide service, to provide value, and in a company, you need to generate the number, right? It's business. It's, you need to provide value, and don't take things personally, because you can improve in anything. I'm telling you that I'm sure that you can improve with in any skills. So just keep that in mind. Keep the growth mindset, and then you know, okay, for sure I can improve. So what actions can I take that are in my control? So talk to your manager. Don't take things personally. Develop a plan, and keep improving. Never stop improving. Never stop learning. Demonstrate consistency, and again, you're gonna need to have a good emotional intelligence here. Otherwise, you're gonna be blaming your manager. You're gonna be blaming the company. You're gonna be blaming everyone but you. So, and that will be a problem, because then you won't take any action. You're gonna be uh, upset. You're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna have all of those bad feelings. But if you instead focus on the things that you have control, then it's much better, right? Document your progress, communicate effectively, communicate clearly and concisely, because the more you do that, the more reputation you gain. The better you get in your job, people will respect you a lot more, and it's going to be easier to get promoted as well. Rebuild relationships. So if you have damaged relationships with your coworkers or with your manager, try to rebuild those relationships, and find a way to do that. And if you have constantly if you get constantly poor performance reviews, it's okay to look for jobs outside of your work, but you can't lose this growth opportunity in your current job, because if you got the poor performance review, try to revert this game. Try to do good in the job you have, right? Because that's a great growth opportunity for you. So I don't know, you have to be patient. It won't happen overnight. It will take some time. So that's why it's very important to be upfront with your manager. So if you are in a one-on-one meeting with your manager, don't talk about random things and personal things. Talk about your career progress. And you can also look for a mentor to help you and to get this support, so that you are more prepared, better prepared emotionally and technically, so that you can face those career challenges. Okay, so we have more questions here. So Suman is asking, when doing problem solving, is it okay to do Python as it saves time? I wouldn't say exactly that it saves time. It depends on the programming language you know more. If you know more Java, so yeah, if you're a Java developer, you're gonna save time if you do with Java, because if you use a programming language you don't know, you're probably gonna waste a lot more time trying to figure out what a certain feature does. So it's better to use the programming language you know. Yeah, with Java you're gonna have to write a little bit more, but it's okay. If you see the latest Java features, there are some methods that make your Java program a lot easier, a lot simpler. So I wouldn't bother about that. This is like, it won't affect you at all. And as a Java developer, it's better to write algorithms or whatever you're writing with Java. Otherwise, you might forget a syntax from Python or some other things. So, and that's pretty much it, guys. And just to remind you, this is just the warm-up series. Tomorrow, I'm gonna do another live, and this is the warm-up series for the most important event that has the potential of transforming your career, which is the High Value Developer Roadmap. It will happen in the next week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And you're gonna, so all of you who are in the WhatsApp group, you're gonna receive all the information. And also, if you're not in the WhatsApp group yet, you can click on the description of this video, and you can get subscribed to watch the High Value Developer Roadmap. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so someone is saying Python saves time. Yeah, I would recommend you to stick with Java if you are doing a code challenge, because you know Java better than Python. So I don't know exactly what you mean by Python saves time. I think it's because you need less code. But the most difficult thing about doing an algorithm is not exactly the syntax, it's the logic. So I would say it really doesn't change much. Like if you go for Python or Java, just make sure you know the syntax. Like the concepts are different. If you're building a microservice, then it's different. Then you're gonna have to know a Python framework or a Java framework. So it's gonna involve more complexity. Yeah, but if you use like IntelliJ, like to write system.out println, you can use the shortcuts and it's fine. So I wouldn't bother too much about that because it's just syntax, doesn't matter too much. So any other questions? Okay, so I don't see another questions. So thanks guys for being here. I'm looking forward to see you in the High Value Developer Roadmap. And tomorrow we're gonna have another live, and looking forward to see you here engaging and asking questions. So yeah, thank you so much guys, and I'll see you soon.